Right then, preview time, and there needs to be changes. There needs to be changes. Amorim's second game in charge. Bodo Glimt, Europa League, seems like a tap-in, easy ride. Absolutely not. We're coming into this on the back of a 1-1 draw to Ipswich, who were unlucky not to win it, and we were very lucky to not lose it. The situation is clear. We are 15th in the table. A win would do real wonders for solidifying our place in the next round, and it would bring some confidence for the new gaffer early doors. The problem is, Bodo Glimt, as much as they're a relatively obscure team, are a lot better than they're going to be regarded. The reputation they've got, this screams like a 3-0 rotated play some academy lads kind of side. Not a chance. One, United need the competitive minutes to be able to figure out the new gaffer's system and philosophy. And two, they're not that. They've had some decent results so far. They're above us in the table. They did lose to Qarabag, but they beat Braga. They drew with Union Saint-Gilloise, but they beat Porto with a red card for one of their own players. It's early doors. In the grand scheme of things, things could be drastically different, but you can't take any chances in this. And I think confidence and momentum matter. And I think United have to get some confidence because there's some tricky games coming up. And they're really tricky if you don't gel with the new system and you don't quite understand the new system. So we've got to figure that out. And there has to be personnel changes. Now, let's have a look at Bodo Glimt before I talk about United. They've caught the eye in Norway. They've got a decent head coach in a guy called Howson, who seems like he's got a big, firm grip on the club. He's transformed Bodo Glimt into a real hot prospect of tactical intrigue in European football. And the club is getting a lot of acclaim for the relentless physical demands and the way they attack. Now, Howson's intention for the team is to set up in a 4-3-3. Very familiar. We've all seen that. They build up in this shape and then they alter this shape throughout the game. The team is going to be hyper aggressive when it comes to the transitions. Their choice is to play with the number 6 and 2 extremely aggressive number 8s and a front 3. The way that they play is a surprisingly high backline for an underdog kind of side. They choose to have players as close to the centre and the halfway line as possible to try and win the ball aggressive and quick, so it shortens the time and the length that the opposition players are able to keep the ball, to pass, to rotate. So United have got to play with a little bit of speed, and it's very interesting because I think the personnel that United have got and might possibly deploy in our 3-4-3 are not necessarily the ones that have got the in-behind running strengths. And I certainly wouldn't... For starters, I'm not picking Marcus Rashford, and I actually do think that if it was a matter of it being a must-win and players were in form, Marcus Rashford plays in this game, in this man system. I just don't think he deserves to play this week after the performance that we saw last week. With Bodo Glimt, the whole team is going to push up high and a lot higher than you expect in general. Their fullbacks are going to invert. On and off the ball, they're going to put players in positions that completely pin the opposition back in their own half. And if they do that, it doesn't matter who the opposition is. Their aim is to just be so aggressive and so attacking when it comes to trying to win the ball in dangerous areas. Playing out will be difficult for Manchester United tomorrow. And there could be a bollock dropped in playing out, because I didn't think our playing out looked great against Ipswich. And Ipswich are known for their aggressive press. I think Bodo Glimt might be even a bit more aggressive than that. During their own build-up, their players are going to constantly rotate. They'll shift between formations and shapes to create numerical advantages and try and exploit space. They're very, very, very good at it. And their goal is to create dynamism, versatility, and they'll do that and make the opposition think and adjust. And while United are going to be thinking and adjusting to what our manager wants with our new shape, you're going to have an opposition that's like a constantly evolving algorithm in front of you. So it's going to be difficult for a couple of reasons with that. The disruptions, they're going to come through the numerical overloads. That's going to ask questions of us that even if we knew our shape would be difficult for us to answer. Us being confused with the shape and then the extra pressure of them overloading certain individuals could lead to some errors. Most of their play does go through the number 6, Patrick Berg. He is on the ball in the build-up phase a lot, and his task is to move the ball forward at all costs. He's a bit of an establisher of tempo and of midfield control. He links defence to attack. So if you can nullify him, you're going to have a pretty decent evening, I would think. Up top, overlaps, underlaps, wide overloads, and then getting men in the box. It's basic, but it's effective. The lineup will probably be this, and the star man will be Patrick Berg. All play goes through him. He is a disruptor without the ball and an orchestrator on it. He is a leader, and he's very, very good in transition. In terms of my United 11, I think you have to play Onana. I don't think there's any room for rotations in this one. And I did write Martinez because I'd just seen that he's back in training alongside Maguire. I did write Martinez, and I said, now, do you know what? I think Luke Shaw getting 35 minutes or so at the weekend, probably an indicator that he's a little bit further ahead in his recovery. So I'm going to go with Luke Shaw as left side centre-half, De Ligt in the middle, and Mazraoui on the right. I don't see any reason to change that just yet. There is a temptation for me to get Ahmad out of the right wing-back spot and move him into the number 10 position, but I don't think we're ready to do that yet. I think he's still so effective as a right wing-back that it makes sense to keep him in the team for now. So Ahmad right wing-back, Dalot left wing-back, who didn't have a good game, but there's virtually no options. I've gone with Casemiro alongside Ugarte. Ugarte is the absolute certainty to play in here. I went with Casemiro just because I think he is more dynamic than Christian Eriksen, but I would not be surprised or upset with Christian Eriksen alongside Ugarte. Now, Eriksen was poor. Casemiro and Eriksen were poor. They were both poor, right? But I've gone with Casemiro because I think he's just a little bit more dynamic than Eriksen. But alongside Ugarte, Eriksen doesn't need to be dynamic. He can be the tempo setter, the controller, and someone that creates chances for that forward three. I went with Casemiro, but I'm not mad if it's Eriksen, as long as Ugarte is the other midfielder, because he was brilliant when he came on, and he's going to be very, very key to making this thing work. So Casemiro and Ugarte as the two, and then Mount alongside Bruno as the pair of 10s behind Højlund. I don't think Marcus deserves to start. I don't think Garnacho deserves to start. I did toy with the idea of trying Anthony as a left wing back, and then I just thought, there's a time and a place for trying that, and it probably might be the last 15, 20 minutes tomorrow night. It should not be from the start. You want, ideally, your better players in there from the off, the ones who are probably going to be featuring the most. So that's what I've gone with. Mount could be a doubt. I might have gone a bit early on that, but we are so lacking in options. It will not be Xerxes, I don't think, following his performance. It could be Rashford or Garnacho. It's more likely to be Rashford, I think, after Garnacho's performance. But I think with the words he said about Mount and the fact that we did see him for 5 minutes, a start might be a bit too giddy for him, but I'm going to gamble on that, and I'm going to say I think he starts Mason Mount. And I'm not mad at it, to be honest, because I think Mount and Bruno, when we've seen them, have been very, very effective in the press. And maybe not quite as good as we would have wanted them on the ball, but that's what I'm going with anyway. I think that's how United have to do this. And as always, this preview is brought to you by our friends at Hollywood Bets, and they have got an offer for the Europa League clash against Bodo Glimt at Old Trafford, where United fans will be aiming to see a decisive, hopeful first win for Amorim. And the result that we're going to go for this bet is United to win in 90 minutes. Both teams to score, unfortunately. +5 corners for Manchester United. +1 shot for Højlund, which is probably what's going to let this bet down if it does. Over 2.5 cards and over 2.5 goals. So that's what I'm looking at for this. And it's been boosted from 4.5 to 1 to 6 to 1. So if you stick a tenner on it, you're going to get 70 quid back. And if you would like to claim the bet boost, just click the link in the description to get started. And if you're new to Hollywood Bets, creating an account is very easy, and new customers can access additional offers as well. Details for those will be in the description. Odds are subject to change. You've got to be over 18 to participate. Remember, it can be mega unpredictable, and I think this game in particular is going to be an unpredictable one. So it's a little bit of an addition for an excitement for your viewing experience, and certainly no guarantee of win. For more information on responsible gaming, check out begambleaware.org. Again, this bet boost is brought to you exclusively by Hollywood Bets and me, so check the link in the description, or let me know what bets you're going for in the comments below. How do United beat them? You got to dominate midfield, which is why I wanted to see Mount and Bruno. Bruno's ball retention was a hell of a lot better against Ipswich, and he still created chances. I want to see him develop that a little bit more. And with someone that's going to press alongside him in the way that Mount would, you've got two people then whose role is to try and service Højlund, and I think that's how you get the best out of him. Bodo Glimt are going to play their best football through midfield, through that six, through Patrick Berg, and I think if you can stop that, you've got a very good chance of stopping them. The midfield against Ipswich was garbage. I think bringing Agate in helps that for sure. But it's obviously something that we need to fix for this game, because if we don't, we're going to be in trouble. Got to be stronger in attack. Ipswich clearly wasn't a reflection of our best attacking potential. We were flat. Decision-making was horrendous. The link play from attack to midfield was non-existent because midfield couldn't establish domination on the ball, so we ended up dragging Bruno further back, which meant we were under-loaded at the top. So fix those things, and I think you can have a little bit more of a fluid attacking lineup. The rest of the forward line needs to get on Ahmad's wavelength. Be proactive. You know, passing's got to be timed well. Finishing needs to be on par, and then we'll be fine. And then prepare for the transitions. Bodo Glimt's greatest strength is how good they are in transitions. And if we've got an energetic midfield, that's why Casemiro's can be physical. And we saw it was a home game recently under Rude. He had a phenomenal performance either way, defensively. And that's what I want to see from him. And I think Agate alongside him gives him the license to just cover one zone. And if you've got the energy of Mount and Bruno ahead of him, it's a very, very energetic midfield for United. And basically, it's a complete 180 from what we saw against Ipswich, which is what I think we need to do. Then you've got the back three, which is comfortable under pressure, comfortable with the ball, and can all defend 1v1. And then you've got to try and pin them back with football. Because that's the thing that I think Amorim wants to instill into Manchester United. How we play football, not how we are on transition, not how we defend, none of that other stuff. You want to see Manchester United dominating a game with the ball. That's when you know United are going to be on the way back, because we're not there yet, and we might be a long way from that. But either way, that's what we need to do. Can we do it? Well, we'll find out at Old Trafford tomorrow night, won't we? Either way, enjoy the game. I'll see you after it. But let me know your bets in the comments below. And also, go check out Hollywood Bets. They're supporting us for the whole season. And it really helps. So, cheers to them. Cheers to you. See you in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.